Hi everybody, how's everybody doing out there? I hope you're well. I hope you're looking forward to the summer holiday coming up. Woo! Summer holiday, baby! Let me know what you're doing in the comments. I'd be really interested to know. Alright, so I think this is going to be a really useful video for you guys because we've had some more information from Ofqual, the exam regulators, on what the next year's exams might look like. So that's GCSE and A-Level 2021. And they've proposed a load of changes that are essentially made to address the fact that you guys have missed out so much teaching time. What are they going to put in place in this new system to help you guys catch up? And there's been lots of speculation for a long time about what this might look like, and we have our first idea. Bear in mind that the things we're going to be talking about are still proposals, but what it does allow us to do is get our imagination brush out and start painting a picture for what next year is very likely going to look like, so you guys can start preparing and focusing on the right things now. So things we're going to be covering in this video: will you have to cover less content, and what are the curriculum changes going to be next year? Will your exams be pushed back, and what are a few health and safety measures they're going to be putting in place? Let's go. And just before we get cracking to all that good stuff, I want to welcome you to Beyond the Blackboard. I am Ran, and I cover at least weekly content on the ever-progressing education system, post-corona time, etc., so that you guys can stay informed and plan your futures and start focusing on the right things now, as well as a load of other content on self-development and study skills, etc., using my old teaching knowledge. I used to be a science teacher, so if that sounds useful, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share with anyone this would be useful for. Okay, change number one next year is trimming subjects. Now, what do I mean by trimming subjects? What Ofqual, the exam regulators, are proposing to do for the vast majority of subjects is take shortcuts in certain places. So wherever there might be a time-consuming piece of assessment that could be assessed or learnt in a quicker way, they've basically made these changes in these particular points. So I'll give you some examples. Science practicals in combined science GCSE, for example. Now, of course, they're a lot of fun, but they're also very time consuming and can take up to a double lesson in time. Now, what the exam regulators want to do is not just get rid of these practicals, but make it okay for teachers to just demonstrate these practicals to you instead of you guys doing the whole thing. And in that way, you will still be examined on the material. You won't be doing the practical itself. And there's a load of similar examples throughout different subjects. So in English language, for instance, they're proposing to take away the spoken language assessment. In drama, you're going to be permitted to watch plays online rather than needing to go there in person. In DT, also demonstrations are going to be allowed instead of practical work. And in art, instead of having an external examination at the end of it, all of it is just going to be portfolio work that's going to be judged and moderated via photos. And of course, lots of these proposals also have health and safety in mind. So for instance, the plays, obviously there's no theatre going on at the moment, and that's trying to keep in mind social distancing and helping coronavirus not spreading so much. So I've highlighted certain examples of trimming in certain different subjects in different areas, but if you want a full breakdown of what Ofqual are proposing to do for each subject, they have a breakdown. Look in the description below. I've linked the document, and you can go through with a fine-tooth comb and see what they're saying about the subjects that you are taking. Will there be less actual content that you're covering for your subjects? This has been something that's proposed in the past, and the answer is, for most subjects, particularly the core subjects like maths, English, science, the answer is no. They are using these trimming methods that I have outlined before to save time, but what they really don't want to do is cut out key bits of learning that are going to impact you in your future. So you will still be covering all of the content for the vast majority of the subjects, especially the core ones. There are exceptions to this, and namely, I'm going to name 3 exceptions, but there may be more. Have a look in the document. And those exceptions are geography, history, and ancient history. And I assume because these subjects have a huge amount of content involved in them, what they are proposing to do is give your teachers a bit more leeway of the choice of topics that they can give you. So instead of needing to cover every single topic in your curriculum, in your year's curriculum, your teacher will be able to, let's say for example, choose 2 out of 3 topics that they're going to teach you, and then the eventual exam is going to give you a choice which ones you then answer questions on. So there's a little bit more wiggle room for what's being taught and not. So what this could mean is that you get a less broad knowledge of history and geography, but you're getting the same quality of teaching within the topics that you're actually learning. Will the exam dates change? Well, at the moment it's a little bit up in the air because they're trying to sort out logistically how disruptive this would be to the whole system. So what they're proposing could happen is that instead of the exams starting in roughly May for GCSE and A-level, they would push it back to the beginning of June. So they've quoted starting on June the 7th or around that time would be the window. So it's being delayed by roughly a month or so, potentially. Now, of course, this causes issues with being able to turn around the marking time by that end of August date. Especially this is a problem for A-levels if you want to go on to higher education. But in essence, they need to just work this out a lot more. So as soon as they know, you will too, because I will make a video on it. So far, the changes in system of trimming subjects, altering geography, history and ancient history, potentially moving back the dates, and the £1 billion tutoring fund are the main things that the government have outlined to support you guys in catching up for next year. Now individually they may seem small, and Ofqual themselves has said exactly the same. They've said some of the proposed changes are quite modest. However, we believe that overall the changes will reduce the pressures on teachers and students in the next academic year. What do you think about these changes? How does that make you feel about the challenge for next year? Let me know in the comments below. And final thing I want to say is about social distancing, just again so you can have a picture in your mind of what next year might look like, so you can start mentally preparing yourself. What kind of social distancing will be happening? What's the plan to keep you guys safe? Well, at the moment, it's guaranteed that you need to go back in September. All students will be going back to school. There will be year group bubbles and staggered entries and exits into lunch and lessons, etc., to keep you guys in certain year group bubbles. But within that bubble, it doesn't seem there will be social distancing enforced. But as we mentioned earlier, the changes to the curriculum are keeping social distancing in mind, like the demonstrations, etc. There are also contingency plans about school closures should there be an outbreak at the school, and how to contain it best. So that's a bit of an overview. I can go into much more detail if that would be useful. If it would be, let me know in the comments below and I can make more of a video around the social distancing measures they're thinking of doing at the moment. Alright guys, that's the headline news for today. I hope it's been useful. If it has been, please do hit that subscribe button, like the video, and help get it out there by sharing it with your friends. I'm really enjoying making these videos for you guys, and the really positive responses that you're giving me makes me keep going, so really thank you very much. Please do comment any other video suggestions that would be useful for you guys as well, especially coming up now that we're hitting the summer holidays. What kind of things would be useful? Is it study advice? Is it keeping you updated to the news? Is it self-development stuff? And I will more than likely make it if you give it a comment. I'm also replying to every single comment down there, so any questions you have about the crazy education system, I will help you out as best I can on there. And that's it for this video. I hope you stay happy and healthy. See you next time.